Hey guys, we have another sparring breakdown here today. We have Mr. DeBeradinis in the blue shirt, and we have Miss Sullivan here in the black. So another exciting high-rank sparring match. We'll get into it here. Okay, so maybe these guys are just being friendly. I don't know the circumstances behind the round. Sometimes that dictates a lot of how people spar, but they're being awful nice to each other here, in my opinion, and knowing these two a little bit. So what I mean by that is kick and then backing off, and then kick and kind of backing off. So sparring is a game of distance control, right? If you can control the distance, and when you're sparring somebody, if you can be able to kick when they are uncomfortable because of how close you are or the angle you're coming in at or whatever it is, then you have the advantage, and you don't want to give that advantage up, unless you're getting close to a wall or some other group or something and you need to center up. When you have your advantage, you want to kind of stick your flag in the ground and say, I'm not moving, that I want to keep you in an uncomfortable place, right? So here, front kick. And then what he does is he puts his foot down and then takes a step back. And maybe because they were getting a little close to this group, but just say if that group wasn't there. This is a great front kick here. It goes right under her arm. All right, connects with the body. And then put your foot right down and then maybe follow it up with a few punches and hold your ground, right? You want your partner to be uncomfortable and then they have to back up. They're not really that close to the group, it doesn't look like anymore. So he takes a few steps back, and then they kind of get to what I call a neutral position, right? When everybody's just kind of walking around trying to get the next position, figure out the next interaction. You don't want to necessarily give your partner that, right? Gives them a time to breathe. If they have to back up all the time, they're going to be breathing heavy and fast, right? It's uncomfortable because they want to get out of that feeling. So keep them in that if you can. Good double kicks by Miss Sullivan. Okay, so let's go back here. So this is a perfect still here. So he's got his leg fully extended. She's kind of blocking it with her hand there. And then she counters right back. Now, why I said that was perfect is because you want to avoid a kick, obviously, but you don't want to avoid it by being a mile away. Okay, you want to be just far enough where your partner cannot hit you, but as soon as they put their foot down, you can kick back and try to hit them, right? You want to miss a kick by about an inch or two, which is really what Miss Sullivan did, which is great. So counters back, double round kick. Okay, actually, maybe it wasn't quite a double round kick. Looks like a side kick to the shoulder and then a round kick to the body, which is great. So you're taking different angles, right? You do a straight side kick and then you go around that arm to hit to the body, and then a little punch exchange here. So now, okay, so little punch exchange. There's that front kick again, but he really stays in that position, which was what I was talking about earlier. He doesn't back up after the front kick, right? So here we go again. Punch, punch, rear leg front kick, and he stays and then moves forward. Now they kind of pivot. But he doesn't give up the position. So now she's had to scoot back for these next 5 or 10 seconds. Okay, so right now Miss Sullivan's kicking a lot to the same area. So, and he's starting to notice it. So now we're about halfway through this round, and what he's doing is he's anticipating right where he's going to get kicked. So he's blocking it, and then he's moving forward. So Miss Sullivan's kind of on her heels and having to move back and move around in a circle. So she needs to threaten him a little bit more going to the head, or like she did earlier, taking more angles, going around his arms. So once he gets hit, he's going to start thinking, oh, I don't like this, and then he's going to start backing off more. So again, we'll kind of watch this here. She's She's kicking and he's blocking everything with this elbow right here. Front elbow. And he keeps coming forward. She's kind of moving back, zigzagging a little bit. Right to that elbow. It's going to the same place. You got to change it up, right? So what are our legal target areas? You can leg check right around the thigh here. That's as low as you can go. All the way through the body, above the belt, and to the red headgear. Well, I say red because our students is red, but the headgear. So use your full range, right? If you're only kicking to one spot, it becomes very predictable very quickly. So use the entire range, because as soon as you pick your leg up and once you get hit in all those target areas, your partner is scared. They don't know where you're going to go. So they're going to choose the option of get away, right? Versus try to block. But if you're hitting them to the same place every time, they're going to choose the option of, I know what's coming, I'm going to block it and move through it. All right, so let's see how the rest of the round keeps going. Okay, so that was good. That was a good sort of a crescent kick. So she steps kind of behind his stance and then throws that kick there. I would have loved to see a hook kick there instead of maybe a crescent kick. Crescent kick, if it's blocked, which it is, kind of throws you off balance like this. A hook kick, if it's blocked, you can kind of re-chamber it. So it wasn't a bad option, but because he blocked it, now she's getting punched here and things like that. So that was good. So again, what are you learning in the first half of the round that you're using to your advantage? So Mr. DeBeradinis does jab, cross, rear leg round kick, knowing his partner's going to scoot back, right? Boom, almost gets it to the head. She keeps the distance great again. So again, a lot of kicks to the body. You just got to change up the target area a little bit, or hit him a little harder or in a way that's pushing him back. You don't always have to stick a side kick to where they're really feeling it. But if you can put your foot on them and push them away, it's not going to have that same feeling, but it's going to push them to where you create distance. Yes, you see how much he's leaning in because he just is anticipating pretty much any kick she throws, I'm just going to move in, right? And then I guess they're not done. There we go. Okay. Looked like there was some confusion maybe at the end of when the round was over, but the other thing, if I get hit with a punch, I am retreating fast. I don't like to stay in and have a punch exchange with people. In my opinion, if you're having a punch exchange, kind of like they do here at the end in a few seconds, it's, I hit you, you hit me, I hit you, you hit me. Until you start throwing the kicks, nobody's really winning that exchange. Again, you want to protect yourself first and then worry about hitting your partner. So the little punch exchanges to stand still, kind of like they are, maybe not the best option. So again, we'll go back to here. Boom, 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 boom. There's all these little flick punches, I call them. And not really trying to avoid them at all. Just trying to throw as many punches as the other person throws. But I'm sure they're tired. So again, it's hard to determine. I know these guys know each other very well. I would have liked to see a little bit more target variety from Miss Sullivan. And then I think for Mr. DeBeradinis, throwing a little bit more that was setting up a more difficult kick, right? I truly believe, in my opinion, there's a time and a place for every one of our kicks to be thrown, right? I'm not going to open with a 360 kick, but there's some way that I could work it into my sparring, right? And generally that's going to be in the second half of the round because I want to watch people's tendencies first, learn when they scoot back, learn when they stay put, things like that, and then I can at least attempt it, I'm a big believer in, at least try it. If it doesn't work out, then great. Then you can throw that little technique away. But if you never try it, you're not really pushing yourself as much as you maybe could be. So, no, it was a fine round. I think, obviously, there's a little height advantage with Mr. DeBeradinis here. We'll go back to where you can kind of see. So I think Miss Sullivan moved her feet well. I think she kept the distance well. I just don't think she took advantage of the times that she could have enough by using a little bit more variety in where she was hitting. I think that would have made him back off more if he was getting kicks thrown at his head and leg checks when he wasn't moving in. Maybe make him second guess a little bit more. So anyway, that's a review. We'll see you next time.